Today, the moment we're all waiting for, we get back results from Francisco Lindor's MRI. What does it mean for the team heading down the most important stretch of the season? We're going to talk about that today on this emergency edition of Mets Digest. What's going on, Metropolitan? Flobo Boyce here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your YouTubing and check us out here on Mets Digest, your one-stop shop for the best orange and blue content on the planet. Myself and Michael D'Angelo work tirelessly to give you the best in Mets content. So if you're liking what we're putting down, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. Don't be in that not subscribed zone right there. That one there is for losers, and of course, that's not who you are at all. Okay, so this has been a crazy weekend for Mets fans. It feels like our backs are always up against the wall, right? A week and a half ago, we said that trip out west was going to be the biggest trip of our season. That whole kerfuffle against other teams would be our biggest test of the season. This weekend against the Phillies, we had an opportunity to sweep, but of course, the Phillies proved why they're the best team in baseball. But lost in the shuffle is what happened to our captain, Francisco Lindor, after running passing back and having lower back discomfort. Was pulled from the game Friday, did not play the game Saturday, which if you think about it is major, as you think that Francisco wants to post up and play every day. We'll get to that just a little bit from now, but it was tried to play on Sunday and had to be removed as well, and eventually led to a Phillies series win, with Philadelphia winning both Saturday and Sunday. So morale is pretty much at an all-time low for now, until we find something else to be upset about. But the real issue was what was going to happen with Francisco Lindor, because we all know whether it's offense or defense, he finds a way to keep us in games and it gives us a chance to win. The MVP chance were not a fluke. This could be catastrophic. And so we waited all afternoon to see what was going to be the result of that MRI. Just the fact that he wasn't playing today against the Washington Nationals in that 3-game series before hosting the Philadelphia Phillies again. We're wondering how serious the injury was going to be. And we finally got word that it showed no structural damage from that MRI. So there really wasn't anything structurally wrong with the back. It's just going to be some discomfort that can heal up within a week's time, 3 to 5 days. And if I had it my way, I would probably like us to wait as long as we possibly can, because as it is right now, if the season were to end today on Monday, the Mets will be in the third wildcard spot. We're currently tied with the Braves on straight wins and losses, but we hold the divisional tiebreaker against the Braves because we have a better record with divisional opponents. But Lindor spoke about this being removed after Sunday's game. I'm going to give you the quote real quick. He says, "It's extremely difficult." He told reporters, this is from NorthJersey.com, "I'm somebody who wants to post up and be available as many times as I can. Yeah, it's difficult to come out of the game. It's difficult to not be there for my teammates, not be there for my coaches, and not play the game that I love. It doesn't feel good." And we're going to go into more details about what the fallout will be in the team in just a second. But to me personally, if I can stop and editorialize for a quick second, this is super important. I know there's a lot of people, the naysayers out there. I refuse to use the word Lindorks, but you heard that on some corners of the internet. Those who say that Lindor took a huge bag of cash and didn't really put 100%. He's been putting 125%, and now he has to do it from the sidelines, which, if anyone who's had any kind of athletic experience can tell you, it is pretty difficult to sit with that, to have that going on with you. So the idea of the prognosis of the injury, we finally got a little bit more clarity. This one here comes from The Athletic. Shout out to Will Salmon. Him alongside Tim Britton are always on the beat for the New York Mets. He says, Lindor was not in the Mets lineup for their game Monday night against the Washington Nationals, a series that we really have to win because we do host the Phillies again this weekend, which is a back-to-back divisional opponent combination. He did not rule out returning for the series against the Philadelphia Phillies this weekend, starting Thursday. That's a wraparound series. Lindor's timetable depends on his back response to treatment. I'm expecting it to last the rest of the year, Lindor said, but it's going to be manageable. I hate to say the obvious here, with Lindor gone, next man has to be up, right? If Lindor would want to come back in a day or two, he would, but it's super important to have him available in October if we were to make that far. I understand it's going to be a rationale to get Lindor back as soon as you can because no game is promised, as this weekend has shown us, but it really comes down to all the offensive tools that we work to tweak on all season. Yes, there's Pete Alonso in his walk year. Yes, there's JD Martinez, who is a baseball hitting savant. Yes, there are Brandon Nimmo and Francisco Alvarez, and of course Mark Vientos. These guys can produce, and we need them now more than ever. Baseball teams win championships. You already know that. I'm not trying to wax poetic, but this is what we mean when we say next man up. And of course, the Braves are one team in this wild card chase that is going to give us absolutely no sympathy. They have lost a whole bunch of their core from last year, and we all know that injuries are part of the game. Vientos is cooling off as of late, but I expect him to come on back. But now, if Pete really wants to give himself the best case to go ahead and say, hey, look, pay me the bag to stay in New York, this stretch will be impressive for him to really be the offensive powerhouse we've come to know for Pete Alonso. Of course, we do have some replacements on the field. Luis Angel Acuna did himself pretty well this weekend with getting his first hit, but of course, you can't put the entirety of a replacement on Lindor on him. It's okay if you stop some good plays in shortstop, just be as quick as he can, rely on his youth, just be serviceable, and if the other members of the team do what they need to do, we'll be in good position. But there is going to be a lot that you're going to have to fill with the way Francisco works, because it's super important of what he contributes. Take a look at that home run total, pretty much a solid case. Leads or is the top 3 home run producers for the team right now, and that on-base percentage is pretty high. If you look at being able to play every day, that says a lot about morale, but there is somebody who has also been a defensive maven with a Gold Glove level defense. So it's going to be insurmountable for one man to replace Lindor 1-for-1, but I do think that we have the tools to do so. Because remember, we started off the season with a lot of players that aren't even around anymore. I got to give a shout out there. Pour one out for DJ Stewart, who got sent down this week, and Zach Short and Joey Wendell. These are people that realize that we're going to work in our system. We put all of our eggs in multiple baskets to help us out in a situation quite like this, that even despite our injuries, we still have a chance to win. Now, we meant to do that. We're going to have to beat up on some lowly Washington Nationals, even though I say that, it's always weaker teams that always tend to surprise us. But I think the next 3 days would be a good test for Carlos Mendoza and the manager to see where you can plug in individuals in the event they decide to keep Francisco Lindor in a more extended off time. Even if, say, he comes back Thursday or Friday in a DH role. Again, that's not news. I'm just speculating on what you would use Lindor for. I'm just saying you want to be able to give your team all the tools at their disposal. But what say you? This is actually good news in some levels. Francisco Lindor doesn't have any structural damage. He's expected to be back in a couple of days, so that's not even an IL stint, which is also a good case scenario, because you know if you put someone on the IL, they briefly are ineligible until that IL term is over. But at the same time, once you come back from an injury that appears to be muscular, not structural, it is kind of like teaching yourself to trust your range of motion. Again, I've thrown my back out, as most people my age already have. It could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a week and a half until you feel absolutely normal, and even then you have to trust your body again, and it's kind of hard to do that in such a high leverage situation as the eventual MLB playoffs. But I do think the team is in a good position to win. We just got to get the offense ready to roll. So good news there for Lindor. Challenging news for the Mets, but all is not lost. The sky is not falling. Our MVP will be back sooner than later. Let me know what you think. Let me know with the fact that whole Grimace thing also. By the way, before he calls this video out, they're giving Grimace his own purple chair in the stands. Yeah, look it up. Section 302, row 6, seat 12 is going to be purple in honor of Grimace. And maybe that might give us some extra good luck towards the end. That is it for me. We're at the end of the video. Do us a favor, like we said before. Hit subscribe if you like what you're listening, what you're watching to. Give us a shout out. Even give us some hate mail. But until next time, as always, it's LGM to the bitter end.